show me the top 5.
No.
Show me the top 5 games created by Microsoft in the past 5 years. Show me the top 5 by Sony itself.
Studios? Yeah, I mean, it's not a comparison.
No, it's not close.
It's not close. But
how's it going, everybody? Good to see y'all, Game Insider, X-Generational Gamers. Good to see you, Derek, again for another one. Talking about a little bit more of a kind of, I don't know if I would say controversial topic, but definitely a topic that's talked about fairly often, especially now with mobile gaming.
Sure.
Pros and cons of gaming overall. You guys in the comments, obviously, let us know how it's. I venture to guess most people would only talk about how it's helped them. Most people who I think it's caused problems for would probably not talk about them. If you would like to, that'd be sick too. Get the comments of the cons of it, what it's done to you, if it's caused something negative. I have pretty much only a positive kind of interaction with gaming. I feel like I've never had any problems with gaming in the most part. Starting out when I was younger, went through chemo when I was a kid, and got a Game Boy while I was for my aunt. While I was getting treatment and stuff. So I was at the hospital here in Phoenix and getting treatment for it. And it was an easy way for me to kind of be just like doing something. I was getting worked on all the time. So I'd be sitting there playing on a game while people are poking me with needles, getting blood. 5. I was 5 when I got it. So I might have been 6 when I got it, low key, but I had chemo when I was 5, or had cancer when I was 5 and had it till I was 8. And gaming became pretty strong, like just like way to kind of get away from everything. And again, like portable gaming like that at the time was pretty peak. People really loved the PSPs, really loved Game Boys. And for me, that type of thing, being able to take it on the go was a big thing. And there wasn't a ton of mobile gaming at the time. And even then it wasn't even like quote unquote mobile gaming because it was all still disc related, like handheld. Handheld is a great way of putting it. So it was interesting because those were so much more involved, I feel like, than like Switches now, where it's like, you just download it, you have it on the go all the time. But one of those were kind of the precursor to all those things. Were Game Boys, were PSPs, were all those things. And for me, then moving on later in life, my best friends now were all people I met gaming. I've seen them a few times. You've talked about your fellows. You've now seen their kids grow up and stuff too. For me, it's interesting. My dad kind of grew up in the tech world, was an IT guy, did a lot of coding in college, and then kind of got into gaming because you're just kind of a quote unquote nerd. You're just kind of a nerd. So one of those where he got into gaming, loved it, used to play with us on his laps and play games in front of us. My parents kept us away from more of the like excessively violent games like Gears, like COD or God of War, but we were allowed to play like COD and stuff like that at a fairly young age. And Halo, as long as it didn't involve, like I know COD does, but as long as it didn't involve humans and like human enemies, my parents didn't really care too much. COD, it was iffy. I mean, MW2 came out and I played No Russian, and I remember playing that in my room being like, I hope my family does not walk in because this is terrible. Didn't really understand the scope of it at the time.
You enjoyed it, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely did. I definitely played through it. I remember getting that notification at the beginning that was, there was a mission or there's some graphic content or whatever it says right at the beginning. Do you want to play through it? And I was like, fuck yeah. I was like 9. Hell yeah, bro. But one of those were for me, again, like, even through that, I wasn't allowed to play GTA. I didn't play any GTA growing up. No. I do think
great game, but
I do think GTA may be one of those games you probably shouldn't play at a young age.
As a child? Oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely not. That is very violent, too much drugs and all the other stuff. Again, people are going to disagree with that. GTA is a game I think you have. I don't know if you have to be 18, like in my head.
You should be.
I mean,
I think Grand Theft Auto, the things you can do in that game.
Yeah, you're right. 18, I do think is the base for GTA. I do think
it's 18. Not, but I think, I've been at a store, won't name the store because I don't shop there anymore, but I've been at a store where I'm next in line and the mother was ignorant to all of gaming. And the young man, he had to be 12 or 11. Okay. And, honey, is it okay? Can you play this game? He said, oh yeah, sure, mom, my friends play it. Yeah. He said something around like that.
Yeah.
And
in your mind, you're like,
and
Jesus, God.
In my mind, I'm like, wow. I remember I was buying a Sony camera for my wife's birthday. It was in March. Her birthdays, each other. And so the clerk was like, ma'am, I just want you to make sure, I want you to understand that this is, and I was like, that's a good job.
Yeah. And my parents always ask every time I bought a game that was them. My parents were always asking, asking the clerk, not asking me, because they knew my.
I'm gonna lie to you. I'm gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I know my.
I'm going hard.
Well, I think I remember when Red Dead Redemption.
The first one?
Yeah, I think I don't know if it had been out for a long time or if it had just come out.
Brilliant game.
I wrote a 2-page paper to my dad
As to why
I should be allowed to play it because I knew there was one sex scene in it. I like went through, I did research on like, can you skip it? Can I get past it? When does it occur? Like all of those things. And my dad was like, absolutely. Like, just let me know when that spot's coming up. I'll just skip it for you and then you're good to go. And it was like, all right, cool. Which I think I was older. I think that was when I was like 13, 12, 13, maybe 13, 14, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think I was in high school at all, but it definitely was like older. Yeah. And it was, my dad was like, it's kind of cool. My dad was like, hey, I respect it. You really want the game, right? Cool. I trust it. So one of those were a little different. But for me, again, like other than GTA, which I played when I was older, it's a great experience with friends.
Phenomenal.
And if you can, again, as a kid, terrible for your brain. I do think GTA is terrible for your brain. It is just too much.
A little too desensitizing.
Desensitizing and too much stuff that you shouldn't be introduced to as a kid.
Exactly.
More than anything. But other than that, like there's plenty of games that I think, even Red Dead's not crazy. Like Halo, I think is fine. A lot of the alien type games, like
Blood.
Like those types of things have always. I always love to give my parents the excuse as a kid, like, oh, it helps my hand-eye coordination. I don't know if it did. But
I think it does. But
for me in sports and stuff like that, I actually did think it did. And for me, it was always something that allowed me, one, to interact with my little brother. I'm like me and my little brother have played hours and hours. We still play games today.
Right.
My older brother's super into sports. I hated my older brother for a little bit because that bro would just cook me in every single video game. It was terrible. Competitive household.
Sure.
And then even my little sister got a little bit into, what game? Well, she got into anime recently.
Okay.
Or like maybe 2 years ago now.
Okay.
And then we played like different anime, different games inspired by anime, like the Demon Slayer game, JJK's game.
JJK, okay.
Is there a JJK game? Anyways, Demon Slayer game, anime games in general, and and then I made a comment on another one, like a lot of those 2D games where my family plays, like the 2D Spirit Fair or Two Souls. Those games are what my sister and stuff play.
Yeah.
And for me, it's interesting because now it gets that competitive need out of me a lot of the time when I'm not able to do it elsewise.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I was having back problems for a long time recently, and being able to play MLB The Show a lot, get the competitive nature kind of out, be upset, be excited, is a big benefit for me now. Obviously, I'm much more critical of games now, and I get and just like I get upset more with like losing and stuff like that. Just in general, I've always been upset with losing. So then transferring that anger into a game, I think is good because it helps me just be able to be excited and happy about playing games, about enjoying time. It always helps to have significant others that understand. Right. Also, I'm not going to say that that's a very common thing whatsoever, because I definitely think our significant others are probably a little bit different in comparison. Sure. I actually had a conversation with Brooke, I think on Wednesday because she out of town, about like, do you actually care that I play games? Like, actually, like, do you actually care? And she was like, seriously, I do not. And I was like, all right, sick. Like, that's good. And I was like, if you ever did, like, you could easily tell me and we could figure out like a better way of me going about it, whatever it is. And she was like, yeah, I mean, most of the time, the only time I do care is when like, you're doing that and I'm like cleaning and I'm doing chores and stuff or whatever, and you're not doing it because you're gaming. I was like, yeah, I mean, that's if I was doing anything and you were doing that, it'd be annoying anyways. So, so one of those were for me, gaming and the pros of it always outweigh the cons.
Okay.
I think as I've gotten older, I've seen the cons a little bit more with young adults. Mostly young adults. I don't really see like dads having problems with it because they have just good time management. A lot of people that I've interacted with at least have like good time management. They understand more or less what they're doing and like how much time they have. Even like our conversations, like it's different the way you play games, and like even though you spend a decent amount of time playing games, it doesn't take over time for other stuff.
No, not at all.
Whereas for young adults, I feel like
priorities.
They struggle a lot with that. Games then can be kind of they can just take up a lot of time. And if you don't have other stuff going on and they take up a lot of time, then like the amount of time they take up can become astronomical and can lead to other problems if you don't have, goals, if you're not working. Like they can lead to some problems with that. But even in those situations, I still think there's plenty of room for them. I don't want to say like, oh, if you're not, success. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm successful, quote unquote. Like I'm not doing super well money wise. I don't have a house. I'm not doing any of those things. And to me, I think some people would be like, well, that's because you're interacting with games because you're doing what X, Y, and Z. And to me, I'm like,
not true.
Different things, bro. I'm just pursuing other things. So for me, I don't want people to think, you can't play games because of your situation, because I don't think that's ever right. There's just a time and place for it. There's a healthy management of it.
Right.
And moving on in life with that concept amongst everything is never bad. So give me your opinions. What do you think Your
Well,
pros, how you kind of got into it.
Yeah.
Any cons that you see?
I'll first address the last thing you said because I do pretty well.
Yeah.
And I play hours of games. Okay, so this idea that
We're up late. I know you're up late because I'm texting you.
So I mean, and back to you talking about Brooke, your future. She respects that it's your hobby, your art form. You love to play. I've been married this month, 26 years.
Yeah, congrats. Recent anniversary, anniversary.
Absolutely. And my wife knew day one.
Yeah,
it's a pastime and a passion. And
same.
If you are coming into this,
you just got to know
saying that must be eliminated.
It's a problem. It's just a problem for me.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I was streaming at the time when I met Brooke, pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And I told Brooke, like, hey, this is what I do. And I was working and doing school at the time too, but like, this is what I do on my free time.
Exactly.
If it feels like this is taking up free time, if it feels like I'm playing games and that takes up free time, it's more than that. It's a part of what I do. It's how I interact with my friends. It's how I do all that stuff. Yeah. And again, she was more receptive to it than I think people can be.
And again, it's about priorities.
Yeah.
Right. But looking at my origin into games, of course, playing the Atari 2600, because I'm a fossil, but I look really young. It's like as soon as I saw the Atari 2600, I didn't know what the word fidelity meant.
Valid.
All the language used.
It's interesting to think of the concept of like games when they started out to where they are. Like,
bro, I thought every game that I played on these consoles was absolute trash.
What was the concept of games like before they were so prevalent?
Okay, so here's the thing.
Before we get way off track, I do think it's an interesting topic.
Great question. So, it was more or less, I'm from the Pong era.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Okay.
Shout out.
Bro, and
there's a Pong game in Ready or Not. There's a Pong arcade game in Ready or Not you can play. Yeah, it's funny as shit.
That's so dope. But yeah, man, like for me, my genesis into gaming was, last podcast we talked about just in passing Lara Croft. The first Tomb Raider was the first game I had ever played from the start to finish. And what was so amazing about it for me was I saw the credits going up. And I was on this journey with this young lady. And it was like, wow. And it was almost like the first time I read a book by Arthur Conan Doyle. He wrote a book. He wrote the Sherlock Holmes book.
Yeah.
It was a book called The Hounds of the Baskervilles. And in school, I really wasn't the one that was trying to read everything. I was trying to get my work done quickly.
Yep.
But
I don't mean to say yep, like that sounded bad. That sounded bad. No,
sure,
absolutely.
Sure. No,
absolutely.
I didn't take it that way. You're good, Jimmy. No, but again, I started reading this book and I'm like, it's captivating. My mind started working with the writing and I could see and so I finished the book. Finishing the book was the genesis for me I needed another book. Right? And that totally helped my intellect. But playing Lara Croft Tomb Raider was my genesis. Now I had played plenty of games before that, but I never finished them because they weren't games that were narratively designed to be finished.
Yeah.
Right. And so when I finished that, it was like it had its claws in me, it hooked into me, and now I wanted more. Right. And of course, I have the type of personality by which if I experience something that I enjoy, movie, book, game, whatever, I want to share that.
Yeah. I
have to tell you about it. Right. And so, to the original point of, the pros and cons to gaming, I'm sure there's tons of cons, but, with responsibility, with priorities, with being disciplined. And when I say discipline, it doesn't really have to be this heavy lifting approach to your pastime of playing games. It's just, hey, it's a game and it's fiction, right? But the real world takes precedent.
Yeah.
And so it's never been a negative in my life, ever. It just hasn't. There were other things that I had passions about, right? That made gaming just a nice dessert that came alongside it. But I will say this, when I play games, 1,000 games are going through my head right now of these brilliant experiences. When I'm playing games that if I'm out with my wife, my kids were young and I'm hanging out with my kids, sure, I'm enjoying the moment, but my mind is in that cave.
Yeah.
Right. My mind is, sometimes I'm like, man, that was wonderful. Right. And so, yes, you brought up some great points, JB, about the detriment of being irresponsible with games.
Yeah.
Kids of certain age.
Which is like the case amongst everything.
It's gluttony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You don't have to eat them. You don't eat 12 hot dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 is fine.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't gotta, whatever piece it is. It's the same thing with work.
Yes.
You got time and place for work. It's the same thing. Like,
Yes.
I'm not even saying it's the same thing, but
No, it is.
there's
because
it's just,
balance.
it's just about balance at the end of the day. And
It's about balance. And
people don't know that.
you know, and when it comes to like games, man, video games, it's such a beautiful art form, an expression of entertainment. When I consider games and the positivities that come from gaming, right? When I started gaming, though my reading was something that kind of helped with gaming because I was a comic book nerd. That's why I'm a big Thanos fan, whatever, and Marvel and DC as well. And so reading comic books really helped me to read novels. But when I started finishing games, and many games are written in a way where they're quite sophisticated in the narrative design.
Yeah.
And so I started grabbing books that seemed far less intimidating because I read the synopsis. I'm like, because a lot of games nowadays, they're written by brilliant writers.
Yeah.
You know, Amy Hennig. I mean,
And there's so many moving parts in games now. Like,
yes. Like, for example, the show Last of Us.
yeah.
Great show. Doesn't scratch the surface of how good it is, how good the game is.
No.
Right? Because again,
And the show's great.
the show is fantastic, but the moving parts and the way it makes you feel. Like, you know, when you watch a good movie that comes from a book, you know, most people say the book is better.
Yeah.
The game is better because the game
It's a source.
Right. It has all the luxuries of having so many layers.
Yeah.
And so when I look at video games, man, and how good it's been, thankfully, I've never obsessed. Of course, I do know of people personally
Yeah.
that have obsessed,
Yeah.
and their parents have come to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Story.
Hey.
What do I do?
Yeah.
You've worked in gaming, Derek, for like
What,
over a decade.
what's
What's the remedy?
solution? Yeah.
Bro, because this kid is losing their minds. It's like, but you're the parent
Yeah. Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Which again, it's so weird to me to think of my upbringing with games because I do think like it went a very interesting development. I don't know if I've talked about it on the pod or on my shows before.
What's that?
When I was probably 8 or 9, me and my younger brother got into a fight. We used to have our Xbox in the front room, and then we moved it to our room when my little sister. So my older brother moved out.
Okay.
My little sister took his room. Me and my older brother, we had a big enough room where all 3 of us slept. My little sister moved into my older brother's room. That was their own singular room. And then me and my little brother had our 2 beds next to each other until I graduated college, high school.
With the game console in there.
Yeah, so it was on the front when Jen was in our room.
What console?
360.
That.
And then I think 360 and the OG were both out front.
Okay.
And then we moved the 360 into ours, and you put the Xbox, the OG in storage.
The big black fat one?
Yeah. And my older brother used to have like one of those big ass block TVs that used to have the
back in the day.
Yeah, OG, like
Beautiful.
crazy to think they were even building TVs like that.
Back then, those things were like state of the art.
Oh my dude, and it's literally my parents were talking about like, I don't know how we let you guys like play with that TV because like literally one of those were like, you hang on it and it's gonna kill you as a child. Besides the point. But I remember when we moved the Xbox into our room, I woke up early and was playing a game before we were going to see like a movie. This is a very weird memory. We were going to see a movie during the like Harkins summer movie collection thing where you like can buy the movie pass for the year or for the summer. And they just like played movies, and it was Despicable Me, I believe. And I remember I woke up early, was playing it. My little brother asked if he could play, and I said, no, I'm playing it, bro. I don't remember what I was playing, but he was sad or mad or whatever when he told my mom. Big ass fight between me and my little brother. Granted, just like sibling fight, just like big ass fight between like a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old, like not that big a deal. Sure. And my mom from then on until I graduated high school. So from 9 to 18, almost a decade. Yeah. We were not allowed to play games on Sunday and on Wednesday at all, unless it was our birthday or like, I think because I was still getting checked for chemo and stuff. Like I wasn't getting chemo, but I was getting checked up until I was 18. If I had like one of those things like from 9 to 15 before I was in high school and it was on a Wednesday or a Sunday, my parents would let me play games on that day.
So Sunday morning, you're not gaming.
Yeah, like midnight hit. Like we could be playing games on Saturday and my parents would walk in at 12:10 and be like, hey, you can't be playing games. You need to go to bed.
See that part. See, it's that. And it's good that your parents did that.
Yeah. Right? And it's interesting because I do attribute like, it is weird because I do attribute that as like a very positive in my life, actually. Like it was one of those when I look back on it and I like, no part of me is like, oh, that was like there are things my parents have done that didn't make sense to me. It's the best way of, better way of me phrasing than I was going to say. Right. But that was one of those that like at no point in any of my adult life now have I ever thought it was a dumb decision. Like I have 100% talked to Brooke about when we have a kid, this will be a day one thing.
Yeah,
and
day
we'll
one.
still, and
Day
again,
one.
like my parents did a really good job of that balance of, hey, it's okay on your birthday. Like, yeah, bro, we can make do you want to spend your allowance? Then we started using allowance to buy like 1 hour of games on a Wednesday or whatever. Like it was for us, it was one of those where it was actually a fantastic like development. I don't know why, but it was because of that cutoff. It gave us time to recoup in the middle of the week on homework and stuff. For sports, it was always really good because then like I got a day when I finished sports stuff that I knew I wasn't gonna play games, so I was just coming home and going to bed. Like it was weird. It's so weird, but literally one of those things where I feel like that instatement and like that rule for me it was so good because then it just became normal after I mean it sucked.
Saturday,
I mean it sucked ass for like 2 years. I was like, dude, it's Sunday. I can't during the summer, still can. I was like, this sucks. Right. But then we got into card games. You got into more family games. You got to do it. Yeah, there's so many other things to do. Right. It really was such like a cool thing. And again, another like at the time, I didn't realize how much of a pro it was to really limit the way I played games in that sense. But it was. And there's plenty of times where like it made it to where like now when Brooke's like, hey, can we do something? There's no part of me that's like, oh, well, I was going to do this. Even at times when I'm like, hey, yeah, like Brooke will be like, hey, can we do this? And I'm like, oh, I had kind of planned on playing games with the boys. Yeah. But like, I'll let them know and I'll see like if they're still doing stuff, if someone said no, like whatever it is or anything like that. So,
to that point, there's a lot of experiences out there more prevalent than, we let on. And yeah, let's bury those. But there is experiences, man, where people are grown men with wives and kids and they're neglecting them. Yeah. Now,
full in like neglect. Not like, oh, you're not paying attention to kids. Like,
no, I'm talking like, it's just, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but I mean, it's pretty ugly. But not to keep things light or positive just for the point of doing that or not to annoy our audience. But that is a problem. That is a con. Yeah. I would say I've never experienced that because video games, I love them for what they are, but it's not my wife or my kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, don't be crazy.
Yeah.
However, I do think that's a problem. But for me though, it's just a pile of just greatness and goodness and just
storytelling,
bro. And when I think about like the relationships that I've been able to cultivate, I have 2 friends that I play with, that I've been playing with them forever. And you made reference to it earlier. I've literally watched from afar.
Yeah.
One of my friends, his name is Joshua. My other friend name is Ruthless. Okay. And this is so wild. I've been playing with Ruthless and Joshua for years. I don't even know if I know Ruthless. His name is Ruthless.
His real name?
I don't know if I know his real name.
Yeah.
But he's just Ruthless.
Yeah.
And these are 2 gentlemen that I like love them like brothers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Like if something happened to them or if they needed something.
Bro,
I'm coming to their aid like a Spartan I'm like my boys, right? And so, when I first started playing games with them in particular, Josh's kids, man, they were like shorties. I'm talking short, like
baby toddlers.
In my mind, time just stops. Yeah, and so they're not supposed to grow up.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, especially if you're not seeing them all the time. Like,
ever.
Yeah,
right? I mean pictures.
Yeah,
I've never met these 2.
And I would venture to guess like rare pictures. Like you're not like getting pictures of their kids every day or anything. Like it's just sparse. Oh, look at it, we did this, and you're like, oh, cool, sounds good. Like
then I was talking about Josh's daughter. I said, hey man, how are your kids? He's doing good. I said, great, man. I said, so again, I remember the picture I saw. They were, 6, 7, maybe. Yeah. Maybe younger. And then he mentioned that one of them was going to high school. I said, Josh, what are you talking about? They're not going to high school, bro. He's like, bro, I think it was his daughter. She's going to high school. I said, are you serious right now, bro? And like, we've been playing games for that long.
Yeah. I mean, if you're saying 6, 7, I mean, that's,
bro. That's like 8 years.
That's 8 years.
7, 8 years. I'm like, but think about it. When you look at a console generation, what is a console generation?
Yeah.
Like 5 to 8 years, maybe, right?
Again, even referencing when I referenced Halo in the last Infinite, I was like, damn, that game kind of came out. It's been
like 3 years, 4 years.
First God of War 2018. I was like, damn, that came out in 2018.
That's wild.
And again,
God of War 2018. Right. I mean, but when you think about, like, for example, Ruthless and Josh, they met playing Killzone.
Jesus.
Killzone, bro. Which we got to do a podcast on that. I won't go there right now. But again, pros and cons of gaming, man. Like, games have a wonderful way of really opening your horizons. Yeah. They can give you something wonderful to look forward to. These worlds are fantastic. But I do have a con about games that I'll bring up. And it's this, as gamers, we're rather insatiable when it comes to just wanting to feed that craving for something great.
Yeah, correct.
And with every console generation, as gamers, we're forced to believe the narrative that game design becomes more expensive with each new generation. And if we kind of do a history lesson and go back and look at, let's say 3 consoles ago, right? Games were what? $49.99?
Yeah.
$60. And they stayed $60 for a minute.
For a while.
Donkey Kong on the Switch 2 is $80, bro.
God, are you serious?
No, 70.
70. It's gotta be 70.
I'm sorry. Mario Kart is $80. Bro.
Jesus Christ.
Okay?
Yeah, we've talked about
Okay. So here's the problem with me in that. I'm not convinced that game development is that much more expensive. Now watch this. Sure. No, you got the Shuhei Yoshidas of the world, wonderful, brilliant mind, former representative at Sony, CEO, gaming, fantastic. And he talked about in an interview that game development does increase, and so it's fair to increase the price of games. Okay, fine, right? The whole inflation argument, fine. I would love to know though, why does game development go up in price?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, the development itself.
Like, why, for example, we have these graphics cards that are just through the roof powerful. They're
nuts.
Right? But when you're making the game,
Yeah.
what is that component that now makes the game more expensive to make? If that's making any sense.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
if I bought a better GPU, why does my game then cost more if you're saying the development costs more when I just bought the piece that makes your game run?
Right. And here's the thing. Yes, inflation is a real thing.
Yeah, 100%. Especially, right now we're in a weird spot.
Very weird spot. And so now when the next graphics card comes out, which is going to be an absolute animal.
Yeah.
Or when the PlayStation 6 comes out or whatever, right? For example, I look at the Switch and then the Switch 2. When I look at those two pieces of hardware, there isn't a revolutionary jump in tech.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say that there isn't a, like, I think the Switch 2 is better.
It's better, sure.
But it's not.
Is it like night and day? Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not 360 to Series X. It's not PS3 to PS5. Like, it's not that jump at all.
I would go as far as to say that it's not the PS2 to PS3 jump.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's not. Because I remember that jump. That was
you look at PS2 games, you look at PS3 games, you're like, damn. Xbox.
Yeah.
There was only one Xbox and then there's 360.
Dude, when I saw BioShock,
oh my God.
I said, that's water?
yeah.
That's water, bro.
Falling out the plane when you get out the plane.
Bro, that was like, okay, that's not what this is.
No, not at all.
So now games are Grand Theft Auto 6. Okay, Grand Theft Auto 6, when that game comes out next year. Now I'll say this, and this might, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. There are certain games that I'll pay a premium for.
Correct. Yes. GTA 6
is one of those games because of the experience I've had.
And because they have been
they don't miss.
And Rockstar does develop
they don't miss. The games are fantastic.
And GTA 5, if you took what GTA 5 is and you look at what that game is like online, and then you're like, hey, we're making a new one of, that game itself.
Yes.
If you bought that game for $60 and you still had a 360, you could still play the game
and live your best life.
And have I don't even know how many days of content.
Is okay. So to
it's
that point,
insane.
But every game is not made like that.
No, yes, exactly. Don't think Mario Kart is in the same
I'll play a game
ilk as.
Yeah, okay, Sony says the next Horizon Forbidden West 2, or whatever they call it. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Right? There's games that have done if Ghost of Yotei is $80, yes, I would buy the game. However, I agree with that.
Okay, yeah.
All your energy right now, I agree with that, JB.
Yeah.
Because there's some games that just, I don't know if that's justifiable.
Yeah. Because I think I'm in the same boat. Like, I would probably buy it. What I would probably do is split it with my little brother.
Okay. But see, now we're at the point now where we got to split.
Where you got to split shit. That's a bill for a nice dinner.
Bro. $100?
And that, to me, that is the con, is that it no longer is.
That's part of my groceries budget.
Yeah, it no longer is a It's not a cheap pastime whatsoever.
Gaming has been a luxury. Now it's becoming something only for the rich.
Yeah, only for, yeah, 100%. And especially if you want to run games at a crazy spot.
Bro.
Like, and if you don't have the money for it, it can be a detrimental type. Like buying an Xbox, I haven't bought a Series X because I'm like, I don't really want to buy a console.
Because, and
then buy the games.
Bro, and then buy the games. It's mad. It's
insane.
So again, pros, cons, for me, it's a tantamount of pros.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, when I consider the cons, for me, it's what happens in the industry and what the industry is doing with itself.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Like, and not to harp on it, but it put a really bad taste in my mouth. Okay, it's a business decision because Microsoft is said to be going in the direction of AI.
Yeah.
Because when you look at how much the Xbox division is making for them, it's more or less what, 8 to 11%?
Yeah.
Of the profitability of Microsoft. I mean, so it's almost like a hobby. Xbox
side piece.
Right. So AI has far more yield revenue-wise than Xbox. I get that. But at the same time, I don't like when a game or a developer has been doing a good job, their games are putting out are profitable, everything is steady. But then we're going to axe everybody.
Yeah.
Because the company's going to go in a different direction. Okay, I get that. I don't respect it.
Yeah.
I don't respect it.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I can't respect it because, and this is nothing against Phil Spencer. I'm not attacking Microsoft.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah. It's business.
It's business, but language matters. When that memo went out from Phil Spencer to these developers that, JB, you're a great developer, but we're going to let you go. And I'm paraphrasing here. We're going to let you go, JB. However, for the sustainability of Microsoft and Xbox, we believe that continues to put us in a wonderful place because revenue-wise and our footing and our foundation has never been stronger.
Because of you.
But you're firing me.
Yeah, but you're dropping me off. Sorry.
If that's not the very definition of an oxymoron, I don't, what are we talking about?
And saying to someone like me, like, I think it's interesting because we've seen the kind of the nervousness of AI just in general as a world.
Yeah, sure.
And to me, it's difficult because, like you said, like, I understand it's a business decision, bro. Like, I get it.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, hunky dory. Like most people aren't.
Okay.
You don't think so? You think so?
I think it's going to be passed as it's business. So it's all good.
Yeah, fair. That'll always be it's business, bro. Why would they have to make that decision? It's like,
it's not personal.
All right. Yeah, exactly.
It's not personal.
And for me, the one thing I do think it can be, which is just more me as an optimistic person,
sure,
is you can get a lot of those guys, like a lot of those people, I hope, move on to other ventures in the gaming development world.
Many of them do.
And I think
some
a lot,
don't.
I think some of that, the corporation, it's just, I mean, that's the case with all work. Like you work corporate, you kind of have a set way of thinking you can go about stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you get out of the corporate world, you can kind of start to do, again, it's way more nerve wracking, I think, to not be in the corporate world because you don't have you don't have benefits. You got to create an opportunity rather than join an opportunity. Like there's a lot more riding on you doing well if you aren't already solidified in whatever you want.
Okay.
But I hope that those developers can go and do more what they want.
See, I made a comment in a text with some buddies, the Josh and Ruthlesses of the world. I just texted them recently. And I was talking about how if I was in the gaming industry today, right, looking at the climate of it, right, I would hope, because I do think as an entrepreneur, I am an entrepreneur by trade, I would feel that I would want to be more in control of my success.
Yeah.
I love teamwork. I love working alongside comrades. I love doing this podcast with you. It's just wonderful to have those teammates. But if it's a beholding to to Big Brother or to some other authority, and I'm just getting a paycheck, regardless of how good my game is, that I've contributed my skill sets towards, right? And the game does well. Sold 3 million copies. We got a bonus check. Wonderful. 3 months later, I lose my job.
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
Yeah.
So then I say to myself, what if I go out on my own as an independent, right? It's scary. But at the end of the day, I think it's the better gamble for the developer, depending on their skill sets. I don't think that someone who is not that super developed in games should be afraid to do it.
Mhm.
I mean, not developing games, but someone who has like, let's say they're on the side of the music side of it or whatever.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, when it comes to being an independent developer, you don't have to be the end all be all.
Yeah, 100%.
Be a good person, be a good people person, be able to put together a cool, decent team, right? Get somebody with some good financial, management skills, with resources, have some good raw material. And then how do you come up with a game that doesn't take a lot of resources to
Yeah.
that's a very affordable game. Maybe it's free to play. I don't know. But for me, I would at all costs as a developer want to avoid that or work with a company that has a track record that's not so like mercenary like in their approach.
Yeah. Which again, to me, like you look at, again, kind of stay on the pros and cons, like you see like Bungie, you see like, again, just more just referencing Halo, like I mean, that's a company that works directly with Microsoft, like
Bungie today, they're
Sony. Yeah, I mean 343 now in Halo Studios. Like,
yes.
Like to me, like that group,
What group in particular?
Halo Studios and 343, were running through so many people.
Yeah.
And Microsoft was fine with it. And you get Halo Infinite. To me, it's not like that's like now if you're joining them, you kind of, not saying it's your fault, but like you have to understand like that's kind of how they treat people for the most part. They're going to try and figure out the best way to make a game. They're going to kind of try and figure out if it makes sense to go this way. They're going to try innovative things, but if it doesn't work out, like they're going to axe you immediately. And to me, I think it's difficult because, again, in the cons of gaming now, where it is so much more business oriented than it ever used to be. Like, yes, people are making business decisions and stuff, but it used to be like the creative side of it was what was the most important thing about it. Whereas now it is, you look at COD, you look at Madden's, you look at any of some of the Halo stuff, any of that stuff.
Conveyor belt.
It's, hey, how can we make money off of it? What do we need to do? What's the bare minimum? What can we do? And when these games come around, like Expedition 33, like different indie games that I play, like BattleBit Remastered, which is the Roblox. That's the Roblox FPS game that was in Roblox.
Solid.
Yeah, nuts. And then they took it and I think I don't remember who it was. The guy who developed that then created a team to like actually make the game, like actually make it, not on the using the Roblox engine, but it's its own game. But that game did very well. It's entertaining to play. And to me, like when you take away the money from it and you get the ideas from that and the development of that, yes, it would be great if everything just wasn't like, if stuff wasn't just based around money, if everybody could just do whatever they wanted.
Well, the investors have an investment.
And to me, like Microsoft, you have that backbone, bro. Like you have the foundation of money, dude. You don't need to be axing people because you feel like it makes more money. Like, bro, you guys make ungodly amounts of money. It's fine.
Right.
Like you guys can eat the loss of money. Yeah, maybe it's a large amount, but like, does it matter? Does it actually matter to you whatsoever? To me, that's where the problems start to come in with the cons of business, gaming and business, is because you have to be either the absolute best or just happen to be in the right circumstance for you to feel like you're comfortable. I mean, Halo Studios is in a weird spot where they don't even know if Microsoft threw them just a couple, like which again, it's crazy to say, a few mil, give them $2 million to pay people salaries for the year. You'd be like, okay, cool, sounds good.
Probably would be enough, but
I don't know how many people are in Halo Studios. But I'd venture to guess Microsoft could cover them for a year and be like, oh yeah, we're fine, it's good. Like,
okay, we're talking about what are they, $3 trillion?
Yeah, crazy.
But at the same time, though, you're a $3 trillion company because you're splitting your hairs and you're dotting I's.
Correct. Exactly. Millionaires don't become millionaires because they like to give shit away.
I mean, just right. Exactly. And I think not to go down this rabbit hole of what's Microsoft or Xbox, I should say, what's their issue or their concerns, not concerns, what's their problem? The bottom line is Xbox in the current state that it's in does not have the curation system in place to properly make great games.
Correct. Yes, exactly.
That's why you throw money at the ZeniMaxes of the world and whatnot, right? So they don't know how, there was a guy who worked at Microsoft years ago, and we're going off here, but I like this. There was a guy who worked at Microsoft many years ago. His name was Jay Allard. And he was one of the, founding minds behind, the original Xbox, especially Xbox 360. And he was a gamer, right? He wasn't a suit.
Yeah.
Right. Shuhei Yoshida wears a suit, but he's a gamer.
Yeah.
Right. When you have gamers that have a passion for great experiences, that also have that understanding of the suit approach to business, then you have first party games like Sony.
Yeah.
You have that, right? And not to say one is better than the other, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And so I think,
And to be fair, we can say that that's
well, yes,
no one would debate with us that Sony is better at making
games. Yes, it's
making games currently.
Yeah, it's no comparison.
You want to put Microsoft against Sony?
No.
Show me the top 5.
No.
Show me the top 5 games created by Microsoft in the past 5 years. Show me the top 5 by Sony itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a comparison.
No, it's not close.
It's not close. But it's one of those things where
Xbox would be pissed.
Well, I mean, it's not an opinion. I
Yeah.
mean, just look at the ratings. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's not really a bias. It's just objectively they know how to make better games.
Yeah, which is fine.
And I think too, when you consider the cons, right? Back to the pros and cons. And we're talking about the cons more importantly, because there's a plethora of things we can say about the greatness of gaming and it's great. But I think the cons really have been poking their ugly heads in these layoffs.
Yeah.
And
Layoffs, I would say one of the other things for me, not to get off pace, but is we've talked about women on games and stuff, and like the reception. I feel like the reception of individual characters
characters
can be negative more often than not, even if the games are fantastic.
Yeah.
So to me, like the negative crowd within gaming is incredibly loud.
You know what? Let's pivot there. Because I don't want to go down this rabbit hole of bashing Microsoft.
Yeah, I got you.
Because I have a lot of respect for Xbox.
Yeah, it's just recent problems that have just
recent problems
that have been like more alarming than anything.
But I have no problem with putting them in a headlock if I need to.
Correct, exactly, yeah.
But looking at that point of this culture, right, the male bro culture of gaming, I think that's a con.
Yeah,
because
I don't think it's not prevalent. I don't think it's a massive problem, but it definitely is a negative con with it,
right?
Especially if you're a woman trying to get introduced to like strong female characters, bro. Like, bro, that shit's hard because everyone's gonna tell you your ass is wrong, and like every time. Like,
but you know what? I'm gonna say this too, though. The beautiful thing is we talked about Assassin's Creed Shadow and the bias and prejudice that came against that, but at the end of the day, it was a con from an expression standpoint.
Yeah.
But the bottom line, the game sold very well.
Yeah.
So
Horizon.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I'm hoping you tie. Like,
your tie's going to be solid.
It's going to be nuts.
It's going to be nuts, bro. So
I think her name is her name Atsu? Atsu?
I think that's right. No.
It's something. I think it's something like that.
It's something like that. Okay.
But to me, like The Last of Us.
Okay.
Those games have two of the most like, I don't know, polarizing characters when it comes to Abby and.
But watch this. Here's what's interesting about that dynamic. Okay, but Derek, people when they play as Ellie, this is so interesting. When you play as Ellie, right? Men in particular don't complain about playing as Ellie.
No.
Why is that? I'm gonna tell you. My opinion on that is this: we all are suckers because when the game starts, you play as Joel running alongside Tess. Ellie is this young lady who's supposedly immune to everything that's happening, and then she is brought into your world. The introduction to the game, you lose your daughter.
Yeah.
I have a daughter. I literally, bro, when I played The Last of Us, I cried.
Yeah.
Like when his daughter died, I'm like, Naughty Dog, what are you doing?
That game starts crazy.
It starts a while, right? So now Ellie's brought into the equation and
filling up Joel's void,
and you want that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And you want that. So when that game has this dynamic change sequence by which Joel now can't protect you because he's wounded and you play as her, it's an interesting psychology of the approach because you as a player are desperately wanting to save Joel and this little girl to survive because by no means do you want Joel to hurt again.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different approach to game design to appease.
Yeah. Which then you bring in Abby.
The meatheads.
And you bring in Abby and I was like, fuck Abby. Immediately.
Until well, yeah, because she's introduced and you are literally helping
So then
her.
do you think that I hated Abby because of, like, I think there are people who hate it. Not me. I don't want to phrase it like that.
When she was first introduced, you didn't hate her. You
can't. Nothing's happened yet.
Okay, so talk to me.
I'm not gonna say me because I didn't hate her because I was gonna say, do you think I hated her because she was a woman? But I didn't hate her in general.
No, you didn't.
I hated her because she killed Joel.
Bro, yes, that's why you hate her.
But
yes,
are there people that saw Abby when you switch over to her? I venture to guess, like, again,
Yes,
the con of
yes.
it, to me, there were people who hated playing as Abby
Yes.
because it was like, bro, why are you playing it? Why are you playing as a female character that isn't Ellie? And to me, it was like, okay, but it isn't any different.
It's no different. And but then too, I mean,
And she's a quote unquote, like, she's kind of fun to play as.
she's amazing.
She's strong. She can beat the shit out of people. Like,
Okay, to that point, I live in comments sometimes. I'm because I want to know the mindset of consumers and in gaming or in other products based on what I do for a living. But you know, when you consider Abby, she was 100% female.
Yeah.
But because she was slight heavy in her chest, right? She was built like a fitness model without the big boobs.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Her breasts weren't like obnoxious.
Yeah.
She was not objectified. And there was some
She seems like someone who was carved in an apocalypse.
Right. And it had a bit of a there was one sequence where I did like, wait, because of chances that are taken in gaming, there was a sequence where, it was a scene between her and her love interest.
That was wild.
It was wild.
Wild.
For a second there, I said, wait, she's a woman, right?
Yeah.
I actually questioned that because of how she was built. Attractive, but when you see that she's like very small up top, then the idea of transgender kicked in.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this could probably be what's triggering people.
Individuals. Interesting. Okay.
Okay. And then of course, as you play the game, you have the sidekick young lady, the Asian character, who was a female, but she was shaving her head.
I think she identified as male. Was she male?
She was in between. She was going through a transition.
Okay, heard.
Right. But
people were so annoyed.
And here's the thing. I think people miss the psychology of
correct
her trauma.
Yeah.
Right. But again, I just think that again, I think that classifies as a con.
Yeah, to me, that is one of the bigger cons. Is the difficulty to, because again, I don't even want, like, people are gonna be like, oh, you guys are woke. Like, bro, no, I'm not even trying to make it's not a woke comment. It's just like, bro, it's a game development, dude. What do you want me, again, like you said, it's fiction, bro. Like, I'm just trying to understand the narrative design of the game, bro. I don't have, when that scene takes place between Abby and her love interest, I was like, oh, so shit. Like that part in the game is like, oh shit, I did not see this thing. Because again, we've made comments about women in gaming in general, that like soft nature, the want to be loved, like that's all still prevalent in humans in general. And they do a great job of that in Last of Us. With Abby.
Yes.
Abby is a stone cold athletic freak in a zombie apocalypse.
Yes.
But she's still a woman who wants to be loved and feel loved by people, bro.
Exactly.
And to me, there are people who want to just neglect the female perspective of games, which again, like, bro, if you want to do that, bro, that's you, dude. I'm not going to agree with you ever. I'm not going to agree on any of that type of stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
That is still, you guys want this, like a lot of people want I'd say a lot of people want the macho man, all this stuff. He's saving people and stuff. And as soon as it's just an immediate negativity towards any woman that could do this, and not even do the same thing, but do it for their own reason.
Right.
People want the reaction to be the same thing across all of them because they want it all to be the same. And then as soon as you get like a woman who's like driven by revenge, like we've seen you type, people are like, oh, they're just trying to be woke. And it's like, so you're telling me no woman at any point has just felt pissed about their entire family dying to an unknown force? You're telling, at no point. When Genghis Khan was just ruling over shit in Mongolia, you don't think there were women who were like, fuck Genghis Khan at some point, wanting to kill Genghis Khan? Like, it's not like it's a foreign aspect of life that women have. There's women who would beat the fuck out of me. Beat the shit out of you, bro.
Interesting to that point, I made a point in one of our other podcasts about women that are very capable.
Yeah.
Of course I made the argument that, if you go get the
UFC fighter,
against Amanda Nunes, she's in trouble. But you take Amanda Nunes or Holly Holm or, some of these.
Yeah, Ronda at her prime.
Clarissa Shields.
Yeah.
Like, and
women wrestlers, oh my God.
There'll be a problem.
To damn near 99% of the general population.
An average Joe.
Yeah.
That makes these comments online, you're getting slapped.
Yeah. And again, to me, like, it's crazy because, like, it's just like people, like, individuals want to have this negative construct of what women are, quote unquote, supposed to be in game. Because I don't even know what the negativity is towards it. I don't want to play as a woman character and go to your tie. Why? What is the reason? Do you know, like actually, do you have any inspection into why? I seriously don't understand why.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with, the individual.
Yeah.
For whatever
Yeah,
reason.
whatever reason.
Maybe it's trauma. Maybe it's not trauma. And that's like, I don't want to play as a female. I respect that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I respect that. But
don't get mad at me.
Yeah. I mean,
and don't get mad at me for developing a game with a female.
Yeah. Like, I think too, to the credit of developers, we have to understand that these studios, a lot of times when they're making games like Ghost of Yotei, the publisher has done the research.
Correct. Yeah.
They've done the data.
Yeah.
Filch farming.
Yeah. They weren't like, oh, let's just make this game. At no point are they like, let's throw a female character in there to start. No. They have to think about it because they know the reception.
Money. Like the game probably costs over $100 million to make.
Yeah.
We're not just going to not look at the data that tells us, favorably, this makes more sense. It may be a chance here or a chance there, but we're looking to get our money back and then some, and then we can make more money with the DLCs, which all the DLCs for Ghost of Tsushima was fantastic.
Yeah.
With the multiplayer. So they do their homework. It's just that all we're saying is that when you are reading, people can make whatever comments they want to make.
Yeah.
I wish people had more integrity. I'm not saying that people can't have a difference of opinion.
Yeah. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, not at all.
Like, I don't want to play the female character. I'm like, all right. High five, no doubt.
Yeah, sounds good, bro. That's your choice.
Yeah. I don't like the latest Superman movie.
That's
a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Not a fan of it. But it's sometimes it just gets, you're anonymous in your comment making. And so thus you can really be crass and kind of despicable in comments. And so I think that's an unfortunate thing. But I will say that comments are undefeated.
They are undefeated.
Because some comments are just like that was terrible, but gosh, I can't stop laughing.
Yeah, exactly. And again, to me, not harping on, because a lot of the second half of this conversation has been the cons. And again, I do think that is probably my biggest con.
Is it really?
That and the addictivity.
I'm sorry?
Addictiveness of games can be bad for, especially for young generation people.
That's really bad for, continue. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're all good.
No, there was a time when every other industry, especially the gun toting community.
Yeah.
Right? By the way, I'm packing, not today, not now.
Yeah.
But I'm not against people having a gun.
Yeah.
But there was this narrative happening where when there was killings and whatnot happening, which
this has been a prevalent problem for a long time.
In America, it's out of control. But my point is, it would put a bad taste in my mouth when
oh my God, it pissed me off.
NRA would want to blame these shootings on gaming. I'm like, are you okay? First of all, do you know how many people I've killed in games? If your argument is sound, I'm a serial killer.
Oh my God, dude! I don't even want to consider the amount of lives taken in a video game.
But here's the thing. Back to what we said about playing God of War or playing Kratos. When you have a job, let's say you're frustrated that day, you get home, and you put in God of War. Any God of War, even the worst one, God of War's Ascension, which wasn't too bad, but it's of the series, it's the least in my opinion. Kratos in that experience allows you to release. When you play a game with your friends and your comrades, cooperatively, you're releasing.
Yeah.
Right? And so there was this narrative going around where it was games is causing these kids to shoot up the schools, and it's this and it's that. And of course, I'm not going to get into the whole psychology of the why. Games have nothing to do with that.
And I told you, I've been playing violent games since I was 6.
All of us have.
Yes. Everybody has.
All of us have. Okay.
And in no realm, and as soon, which is crazy. So there was the guy who tried to assassinate Trump.
Yes.
Was wearing a Demolition Ranch shirt.
Demolition Ranch. I'm not familiar.
YouTuber. He doesn't do YouTube. He actually just rocked up YouTube a couple months ago, but he has his own ranch. He took guns out. He tried different guns out. And when people found out that shooter was wearing his merch, it was immediately his fault. And he had to come out and make a video, which his community obviously didn't give a shit. Right. I mean, his community is gun-toting individuals who don't care at all, obviously.
That's good.
And to me, it was crazy because that was the story for when I was a kid, that's all everyone ever said. If there was ever that type of problem, that was why. If there was robberies, if there was armed robberies, it was because they played GTA. It was because they played COD. Oh, because of this, it's because they played COD. And it's like, dude, I've never in my life ever thought,
bro,
let me go after an airport. No, dude,
most
no
COD
point.
Players, true story. Most COD players, statistically speaking, throughout their lifetime, have never fired a weapon.
Yeah, have never shot a gun.
Or have had access to a weapon.
Yeah.
So it's
you guys haven't. Never mind. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say.
But it's a pivot. It's more of a pivot of like, I think it's more of the gun-toting representatives in the world.
Yeah. More the reps for sure.
Right, that want to blame it.
Yeah.
They don't want the more
avoid the conversation.
So they want to go there. So I think that's definitely a con as well, because it's like, video games.
Yeah, and video games have also, obviously, I think it's different now as we start to kind of wrap up, but video games definitely have had that kind of stigma for a long time. They've had the people, which is interesting, again, because my generation is now the group that gets to put the stigmas on people, because we're all young adults. We get to tell everyone how they are and everything like that now.
Yeah.
And before, it used to be your generation, then it was my older brothers and stuff. And I think plenty of people amongst yours and his were very much like that. Yeah, if you play games, bro, like you're trying to not be successful. That's what gaming is. If you play games, that's the reason. Because that's how I felt growing up. Was like, which again, I was in school, so I was kind of absent from the scrutiny of it, because I was I was 10. My bad for the F word, but I was 10. Yeah, bro, you're not successful. Yeah, dude, I'm in 5th grade. Like get off my ass. Like,
right, I can't be the one doing it.
Whereas, like, so even probably when you were kind of in your 30s, when you were in mid 30s and stuff, people probably were like, you play games? Like, you work at a gaming company?
And
like,
so yeah, it's funny you say that, because I'll get that now. Like when I talk about my pastime, what I do, gaming. They're like, "Are you serious?" I'm like,
really?
Yeah. Like, what do you play? And I'll talk about what I play, whatever. And it's surprising, some of the responses, over the years have been like, women in particular, not all women, of course, but some women. What do you play? And I'm like, I can see the posturing is what they're looking for. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go there.
Yeah,
because I would love to play more shooters, but I play more adventure story games. But I'm like, I play COD religiously. I'll say that, which I don't play COD. I just don't play it religiously. But I just want to know where it's going to go. And it's gone into these interesting conversations of, do you think that's healthy? I'm like, well, as a tax-paying adult, I believe I'm quite healthy.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
But, the whole idea, that whole narrative that games was causing that, was very much so debunked.
It was crazy.
Well, when you look at the idea of, well, let's look at other nations. They're playing games at a absurd clip.
Absurd.
And look at their school shootings and look at ours.
Yeah.
And they're playing just as much as we are, sometimes more.
Yeah.
So come up with a better solution.
Yeah. Well, I think of like CSGO, League. Like those two games are overtaken by different other countries in comparison to the US.
Yes.
Like the best US players are most of the time getting their ass beat.
Getting smoked.
By Japanese players, by Chinese players, by Russians, by Swedish guy, like, which again, you look at the rest of this fucking hoorah US, eat my ass in any sport though, because I bet you $1 my shit's gonna rock yours. Besides the point, I got in a lot of beef with Australia last summer.
Word.
Talking shit about Australia's medals and shit, and people were pissed, bro. Yeah, I think I have like 2.4 million views on like 3 TikToks. From like combined, just talking shit about Australia. Like, I literally TikToks were just look at us, how many medals we have, and then look at how many medals you guys have.
Bro, you brave, bro.
People were, dude, I was getting death threats saying they were gonna come fly to the US and kill me.
Bro, that's crazy.
They were crazy.
This isn't video game oriented.
No, not at all. I'm just saying. I'm just random tangent of F everybody else when it comes to sports though. Gotcha. But again, back to the point, as we wrap up. Yeah, pros and cons. Yeah. I have always felt, as we wrap up, there are more pros than there were cons. I think some of those pros are,
I agree with that,
postured in a more positive direction because of my girlfriend, because of my family, because my family has played games. For me personally, I can't say for everyone that my pros are the same as theirs, my cons are the same as theirs, because my pros for me are bolstered by My girlfriend, Brooke, tells me that she's happy when I get to play games because she knows that's how I hang out with friends. So she's like, yeah, I want you to be able to do that type of stuff. My mom and my dad know that I love to indulge in multiplayer games and be able to interact with Jason and my little brother and stuff. So for me, I was always kind of pushed in a positive, and because my dad played them. Like, you don't tell me not to play games? Like, let's not.
Can't be a hypocrite.
Can't be a hypocrite. Let's say it. And
that's
again,
great, your dad.
and again, I do think it'll be interesting when I have a kid and it's trying to figure out, the balance. I'm throwing in those no game days 2 days a week. I'm throwing in the
Wednesdays and stuff.
like I'm throwing in a lot of those things.
That's cool.
And as someone who was so gifted in the opportunity to play sports,
it's a blessing,
the opportunity, not saying that I was gifted in sports, gifted the opportunity to play sports at a fairly high level when it comes to high school and then part of college.
Sure.
Obviously, I didn't get to make the cream of the crop. But there's a reason those guys need something else to do when they're pro. Like, yes, you can talk about how much money they make and stuff. Bro, those guys are humans and they get effed over more than any human right now when it comes to social media. Doesn't matter who they are.
They're such under the spotlight. So.
Yes, and again, you get paid. Devin Booker's getting paid $75 million in 2 years during 2028. I understand that you can feel like, hey, any celebrity.
Sure.
I understand that you're like, hey, they make so much money. At the end of the day, bro, they're dudes, and they enjoy gaming because it helps them out. I enjoy gaming because it helps me out. You enjoy gaming for the same reason.
Yeah.
I enjoy that story version of things. Those are all the pros to me, and that's why I'm going to continue to play games, because at the end of the day, I love them. I know that other people love them. It gives me an opportunity to play with people and stuff too.
I think that's well said, man. I think that's a good conclusion to the show, to this episode. And if I'll just piggyback off what you said, I remember saying this to a buddy recently. I was like, when I'm an old man, my wife understands what's going to be happening. You know what I'm saying? Bro, when I'm 80, seriously, Lord willing, I'm alive and I'm 80. I'm like, honey, I'm
Death Stranding 14 is coming out.
Pre-order. My grandkids and great grandkids come like, where's granddaddy?
He's playing daddy's delivering packages.
He in the lab. Yo,
walking in the cave.
Yeah, exactly.
Running that shit.
Bro, are you kidding me? Like, it's just, and I can't even imagine where games would be when I'm at that age.
I mean, you'll be getting downloaded. You'll be getting downloaded into a system, feeling like you're 25, bro. Feeling like you're 25 running some shit.
Let me ask this question. We can't harp on it.
Okay.
I gotta go. But do you think we're going to come to a point where you hit a button and AI makes the whole game? Narrative design, whole everything? You think we're going to get to that point?
I think we will, but I think at that point there will be other things that are more fun than gaming.
Really?
Yeah. I think at that point you'll be like space traveling type shit. And people will be more interested in that type of thing. Or you'll have these conglomerations of the best creating games, and then you'll have AI created game. I think AI created games will be more indie based stuff.
Okay.
And humans will continue, because I think humans are still they're better than AI at basically everything still, for the most part, other than like organization and speed for most things. So like creatively, especially, like their AI is good, but it's just not great at it just doesn't have its own thinking. So like and it doesn't know the human experience, like actually know it. Like if you ask ChatGPT, it'll tell you this is what the human experience is.
Make that into a game.
Yeah, exactly. Like
question.
And the idea of the human experience being turned into a game is foul. If you asked it to create a game with the human experience, it would probably give you a cookie cutter way of game. Whereas like the human experience of Last of Us is a human experience of Last of Us.
Okay.
The human experience of Horizon Forbidden West is different because it's so fictional, but it's still a human's experience, like
quite compelling.
And it's just in a different fashion. So I do think at some point we could get there, but I do think it would always be indie based. It would always be asterisk the whole time, every time. Like, oh, this is an AI created game. Like, oh, okay, cool, sounds good, bro. I'll play. Some of them will be nuts. Yeah. Most of them I think will be ass for the most part. But I think some of them will be nuts. I think there will be plenty of AI integration, but I don't think if once AI gets to a point where AI can do that type of thinking, I think we'll be using AI. Again, we've had this is the normal conversation about AI right now, is like, does AI lead to golden age of creation and whatever that is for humans, because now we can solve a lot of the human problems.
The potential is there.
And not have it, or does it lead to Wall-E? Does it lead to massive destruction because it gets out of hand? Like those are the two ways I think it goes. I hope it goes. And like Skynet type things and like the amount of cyber attack type of capability you could use it for. Like all of those things are. Okay. I just think it depends on which way we go with it. I hope it goes in a positive direction, because if it did get to that spot where you just wanted a self-curated game, like that'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
It would.
I think there will always be characters that drive game creation, though.
Absolutely.
So I don't think AI would ever be able to defeat that
for most games.
Yeah, it will never. I won't say never. I don't know if it will create Spider-Man. I don't know if it'll create Chief. I don't think it could ever create Kratos, Mario, Peach. Like, I don't think it could do those types of things.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a great topic.
Great topic. Next one.
Because I'm so like, I don't know.
Really? Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys for stopping by again, tuning in for this one as well. Again, we're going to start releasing them soon as well. We've been getting a lot of the foundation stuff kind of put in and getting the intros and the logos and stuff like that. But hope you guys enjoy. Again, appreciate you. Thank you, D, for stopping by. Look forward to it next week and doing a little bit more of the
Russian.
Yeah, just different. I mean, there's so many different things to talk about. So appreciate you guys. Spread love, spread joy. And we shall see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Peace.